Now the case of a man who was proven innocent after 3 decades in prison. Ray Suarez has that story.
In 1980, Cornelius Dupree was sentenced to 75 years for aggravated robbery. The crime included abduction and rape. Dupree was released last July on parole after 30 years behind bars. 1 week later, DNA test results proved his innocence. Today, a Dallas County judge overturned the conviction and officially cleared his name. Dupree spoke to reporters afterwards.
I just feel that, the system needs to be fixed by whatever means that, so that this won't happen to anyone else. That's about all I have to say.
Dupree served more time than any other Texas inmate exonerated by DNA evidence. Since 2001, Texas has freed 41 wrongly convicted inmates through the use of DNA. That's more than any other state. For more, we're joined by the Dallas County District Attorney Craig Watkins. And Mr. Watkins, Cornelius Dupree, as we've mentioned, was in jail for decades. Hadn't he maintained his innocence all along and tried to win a re-examination of his case?
Fortunately, Mr. Dupree stuck to his core beliefs and hoped that the justice system would work for him one day. And that did today, and he was freed for a crime he didn't commit.
But how come it took so long, sir? How come it took so long to win a re-examination of the evidence?
Well, I think it's a perfect question. I became the district attorney 4 years ago, and upon becoming DA, we opened a unit that specifically looks at claims of innocence. And Mr. Dupree happened to be one of those individuals. And as a result of the unit that we put in place, we have been able to exonerate several individuals. Since 2001, there have been 25 individuals from Dallas County that have been exonerated. And most of those have been exonerated within the last 4 years. And we will continue to make sure that we seek justice not only for victims, but for those who have been wrongly accused.
Do Texas counties have a set of ground rules about how long they keep physical evidence? You had this evidence on file for Mr. Dupree. Did you have to hold on to it?
No, we didn't, and that's another issue that we will be dealing with the forthcoming legislative session. We believe that there should be a standard in place, not only in Texas, but through all states, of how long or how we store biological evidence. One thing that has boded well for us here in Dallas County is the fact that we kept the evidence. And you look at the 25 exonerations that we've had here in this county, a lot of individuals will chalk it up to Dallas County or Texas. That's not the case. We just kept the evidence, and we were able to go back in this case and in several other cases several years to look at that evidence to determine if a person committed a crime.
So are you comfortable in saying that there are likely other falsely convicted men in Texas prisons who won't have the opportunity that Mr. Dupree had simply because their counties no longer have the evidence from their case?
I think any district attorney that holds office within this state or within this country who does not recognize the fact that there are individuals in prison that are innocent loses credibility. We have a problem within our criminal justice system. It needs to be fixed. And in order for our justice system to work as it should, we need to convict the guilty and make sure that the innocent go free. And so, yes, there are innocent individuals in Texas prisons and in prisons throughout this country. But it's our responsibility, the elected DAs, the prosecutors, to take this issue, own it, and make sure that we fix it.
At the same time as DNA science has been getting better, as the tools around DNA use has been getting better, has it been harder for convicted men and women to reopen their cases using DNA?
Well, I mean, if you look at the last 10 years, obviously, because we've had the science. But for those individuals where there was no science, and because Texas saw the need to put a law in place which allowed us to go back and look at these cases, we've been in a position to make sure that we can examine these old cases, use the current technology, the science, to look at those cases, and if the person's truly guilty, then it will prove their guilt. If they're innocent, then it will prove that they should be exonerated. And I would hope that all district attorneys throughout our country embrace not only science, But what's caused several of these individuals to be wrongfully convicted, and it's not limited to science. If you look at the 25 wrongfully convicted individuals out of Dallas County, we can focus on one area, not just science, but the fact that eyewitness identification and the way it had been used in the past is flawed. Every one of these individuals that were wrongfully convicted were identified by a victim or a witness, and those identifications were wrong.
So what do you do about eyewitness evidence? I mean, you're asking crime victims in court to identify the men who they believed, in this case, abducted and raped them, and they say, yes, these are them. Can you throw out eyewitness evidence?
No, but I think we can better serve our citizens by ensuring that we use a very different method than we've used in the past. We need to go to what's called a double-blind system. It's used in pharmaceutical testing, and it gives us the ability, and it's not foolproof, nothing will be foolproof, but it will give us the ability to better serve our citizens and make sure that when we do ask for an eyewitness identification, that we at least are getting closer to having the right individual. And also, we need to not only limit it to eyewitness identification, there needs to be more evidence there as opposed to just what a person may have seen or may have not seen.
Are there any men right now or women in Dallas County who are in the pipeline, in the process of having their cases reopened, so they may win freedom like Mr. Dupree?
Yes. In Dallas County, a few years ago, we started what we call the Conviction Integrity Unit. That unit is specifically designed to look at these claims of innocence. We reinvestigate the case, we test it if there is any biological evidence available, and we look at current technology and techniques to determine if a person committed a crime. And so, yes, we have several individuals in the pipeline. I think it bodes well for Dallas County, for Texas, our Conviction Integrity Unit, and we would implore all district attorneys to have an integrity unit within their own office and to seek out these individuals that may have been wrongfully convicted. It does a great service to our criminal justice system. We're not here as DAs. We're not here to seek convictions. We're here to seek justice.
District Attorney Watkins, thanks for joining us.
Thank you.